Alright, let's start this impromptu stream to each a scratch an itch. So, if you're watching last stream, we drew these corner tracks. And they look okay on the face of it, but if we just have a look at what we actually drew here, and if we zoom in, it's a very flat kind of curve. There's a bit of white here we don't want, right? It's kind of not very nice, for a few reasons. But the other thing that's not nice, let's close this, is this code. This code is full of these, random numbers and this horribleness here. Basically, I had no idea what I was doing. I will be the first to admit I had absolutely no idea what I was doing, and that's not good, but here we are, we learn from our mistakes. So I'm going to redo all of this today, because I've done a bit of reading and I know what I did wrong, and I can actually explain what I did wrong. So let's start with that. If we draw here our grid, so this is an exploded view of two cells of our train tracks. And what we, one in the middle at 40 there, and one on the side at 40. Oops, wrong one. Okay. So these are our cells. And then what we want to do is draw a circle. And if we draw a circle here, let me not anti-alias it. So if we draw a circle here, fine, that's a circle. So what we're trying to do though is draw a curved track. So what we should sort of want to do is move this circle up to here. So it's in the middle. And of course that draws us a track in the middle. Fine. We want a track about here and a track about here. So what I tried to do was move this circle up here. But you can see what's happened. This is a flat track. What we really should have done was shrink this like that and say like that. So we still get the full quarter of a circle. It's a much better looking circle. Ignore the anti-aliasing that the paint program's doing. But we still get the full circle, and then we don't actually offset it at all, right? For the next track, if I, for the next track here, I don't want to offset it so it's in, because you see they're different curves. What I want to do is I want to grow it. So again, we get the full quarter of a circle, but in two different positions. So that's where I went wrong, because what I'm doing here, firstly, I'm moving this, moving the canvas up and to the left, that's fine. But then what I'm doing here is I'm offsetting this circle. And I'm trying to offset it and to increase the width and blah, blah, blah. But all this calculation was wrong, and all it was doing was moving that whole circle. So I'm going to get rid of all this code. The other thing I did wrong was I didn't know, but there's an even easier way to draw these arcs rather than try to manipulate all these circles. What we actually can do, I know the point at which I want to start the track. So horizontal tracks, they start at a certain padding down here. Whoops, let's do it in line. They start at a certain padding down here, and then there's another one that's a certain padding plus a width. Then there's another one which is minus that padding from the bottom, and minus that padding minus the width. That's how we draw a horizontal track. That's how we draw a vertical track. Very easy. The same calculation works for an arc. We start at the point that is a track padding, and we just want to end at this point here, and we want to draw an arc. Same thing here. Excuse my terrible drawing. So there's an easier overload, and I was stuck on this. This is the overload that Matt in the chat on the stream suggested. I was just stuck in my own brain and couldn't see how that worked. But what we want to do is I'm going to have a draw arc method. Excuse me. So we still need our canvas, and I'm going to take in a position. And the cool thing is, because I know this is symmetrical, I can actually use this for my X and Y position. So we need a path again. And if we look at the arc2 method, so this is the one that I first started out with, and I got stuck on radius, and I couldn't work out what to do for radius. I think I know how to use this one now as well, because what this is the corner, which would be 0, 0, the end point, which would be where we want to go to, and the radius is actually just that track offset. It's how big to make the circle. This is the one I did use last night, and this is where the oval is your bounding box, and positioning that bounding box, I just had all sorts of trouble. So let's skip that one. The start angle is easy at 0, the swept angle was -90, that was fine. This one is the same as the other one, but with floats. This one is, so this one's the one I want to use. Actually, I'm just going to use the float version. So what we have is a radius in 2 directions, and this threw me off. I was looking at this overload with a point, and I couldn't work out how a radius could have 2 values. But this actually explains it, and I should have realized, but I should have just looked at this overload. It's simply that you can draw an ellipse, right? You can draw an oval, not a circle. So there could be a vertical radius and a horizontal radius that is different. So our radius, though, as I said, if we look at our little diagram here, our radius is this distance, which is this distance, right? So it's our offset. It's our track offset. So in this case, it's the position. And because I know everything's symmetrical, I want it to be positioned for both X and Y. So now we need the angle, the axis rotate, right? This is the angle to sort of, well, the angle is, as I said, it's the angle of degrees relative to the x-axis. This is the angle at which to draw our arc, but we want to draw our arc just normally, 0. Now there's the arc size, and this one is large and small. So if you think about, we want to draw an arc connecting, let me do it in a different color. If we want to draw an arc connecting this point and this point, you need to think about the circles that can intersect that point. So let me try and guess to draw it. That there. So that is a circle that intersects this point and this point. But this is also a circle that intersects this point and this point. So when it says large and small, what it means is this is the larger arc of the 2 possibilities, and then this is the smaller arc of the 2 possibilities. And obviously we want the smaller arc because it looks a lot better. So this is small. The path direction, so we happen to be drawing left and up, so that's counterclockwise. And then the destination coordinate is the n coordinate here. And so that is an x coordinate of our position and a y coordinate of 0. So what I missed here is our move to. And we want to move to an x coordinate of 0 and a y coordinate of our position. So we move to here, we go counterclockwise, drawing our arc to here. If we'd selected large arc, we would have gone counterclockwise, draw like that. So this is by far the easiest way for my purposes to draw an arc, because all I'm saying is go from here, draw to here, and just go on a circular path. That's it. It's really easy, and it's exactly what we need. Of course, that's assuming it works. So let's put our paint back again. I probably didn't need to delete that one. We want, is it style? is stroke. Our stroke width is 1. And our color is black. And canvas.draw path. Track path. So that should be it. It should be that simple. What are we complaining about? Yeah, fair enough. So all we should need to do is say, draw an arc on our canvas, and we want it to be the track padding. That's the position of our first track. Our second track is track padding plus track width. Our third track is width minus track padding. And our fourth track is width minus track padding minus track width. So with a bit of luck, this will draw those tracks exactly where I want them to do. Except it doesn't compile, because I'm missing a semicolon. And I always forget to pass in the paint. So let's see what happens. Draw some verticals, and oh, look at that. That looks great. That's what you want to see. No magic numbers. It looks good. All the math makes sense. Well, there isn't really any math. Oh, anti-aliasing, I forgot. So what I like about this, though, is this track is essentially started our padding, comma 0, go to, wherever. Started our padding, go to there. This is the same thing. Start there, go to there. Let SkiSharp work out how to draw a corner, etc. So this is great. All I need to do now is draw the white bits in the middle. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Okay, let's do that. So for our white bits, we need a wider stroke and a different color. But the same math should work, actually. So let's do width and color. So this is, I want, is it Control Alt? Yeah. There and there, we want L1 and SK color black. And so for our white parts, our position is the track padding, but we want to be in the middle of the track, so let's add on half the width. We want width is track width, and our color is white. And then for the second track, same thing, except it's width minus the track padding minus half the width. Let's try that out. Oh, I always forget to close it. Okay. Track, and oh, look at that. That looks so much better than what I had last night. And there's no special magic numbers. And I even think I actually understand what it's doing. Awesome. Do we turn off anti-aliasing on the horizontal ones, or do we turn it on the... Let's turn it on. Ooh. Let's turn it on and see what happens. Is anti-alias equals to... That's awesome. So aside from the fact this would have been a very short stream if I'd known this last night, it kind of looks off, doesn't it? Kind of looks off by like 1 pixel, but it's hard to tell with the anti-aliasing. No, maybe that's right. Can't tell there. I think that looks great. It's like it's blue. Why is the vertical tracks blurrier? Vertical tracks track with 1. Anti-alias black stroke. That's the same. Anyway, That's awesome. Oh, how easy is that? No magic numbers other than 2, but that's okay because we're dividing by 2. Minus 22.f. Yeah, let's actually divide it by blanks. No, I did brackets. I think that should be right. Oh, 2. Okay, wrong number of blanks. Do you know what actually would be really cool? Exercise for another day. So not having any magic numbers, well, that's not right. Not having any magic numbers is awesome. But what I actually could really love to do there is put a whole bunch of text boxes here to tweak all those magic numbers. So the track width and the cell size, and you could really see what's going on. That looks great. I am so happy with that. I mean, look at this diff. Like, look how much code we got rid of. Ugh. I should have taken the time to understand it last night. Oh well. Cool. I am over the moon. I'm glad that looks as good as I thought it would. I basically spent the morning reading the ARC documentation and the ARC documentation in the HTML canvas because I know I've done this before in JavaScript, or someone has. Awesome. That is great. Corner tracks. Done. Thank you for joining me on this impromptu short stream follow-up. Everything looks better. Everything is great. Everything's coming out in Millhouse. See ya.